Okay, so we're here just this morning to talk about the COEUR Pulse removable anchor and its installation. There's a few things we need to be careful of in order to attain maximum pull-out strength. Any poor installation could result in no pull-out strength at all. So there are 4 steps we're going to talk about. Firstly is to select a solid parent material. The concrete that we have behind here is something that we use in our technical instructions. When we talk about that, it's a 50 megapascal concrete. The second thing we're going to look at is the type of drill bit that we need to use. Now you can see I've got 3 in my hand, we've got a few options, but it's really important that we use a drill bit with cutting edges, which are either 3 or 4 points on the head. Here, with our 2 cutting edges, we know that we're not going to get a completely round hole, and the COEUR Pulse needs a completely round hole. And we can put that one to the side. I've got 2 left here that I'm looking at. They're both very close, very similar. We've got our 4 cutting edges. One of them, however, is a 1/2 inch drill bit. A 1/2 inch drill bit, available in many countries, many areas, is actually 12.7 millimeter diameter. This will give us a round hole, but it's too large. So I've selected my 12 millimeter drill bit with the correct cutting head. I know it'll give me a round hole, but it will only give me a round hole if it's in good condition, no damage, and it's straight. Otherwise, again, just to reinforce, we've got no pull-out resistance. So when we're drilling our hole for placing the COEUR Pulse, a couple of things to be aware of. Firstly, we want to drill a nicely aligned hole, 90 degrees from our parent material. Make sure that the hanger plate of the COEUR Pulse sits flat against the rock, avoiding any other issues later in the installation. Whilst drilling, something which you'll see later, but we need to be careful that we're not moving or tilting the drill during the installation, because this, again, it's going to make a hole that's too big, and a hole that's too big doesn't give us sufficient pull-out resistance. Before installation of the COEUR Pulse, we need to check the condition of the anchor itself. A couple of things to look for. Firstly, we want to make sure that the wedge plates on either side are not fouled and that it runs smoothly. This one doesn't. We can see it's dirty and they don't work smoothly. And also in this case, if we look closely at it, we'll see that the main shaft, including the expansion cone, is twisted as well. It's bent out of shape, so we're not going to use that one. Let's look at this next example. Here we've got nice smooth action. There's no damage to the cone, there's no dirt inside there. So this one, I'm quite happy to use this one. In order to check the installation of the COEUR Pulse, you need to see a space between the yellow release plunger and the hanger. This space indicates the wedge plates are properly contacting the rock inside the hole. If that hole's too big, then the yellow plunger will touch the hanger plate, and that means there's no locking, and so the anchor isn't strong. Locking the plunger avoids any accidental removal of the anchor, but it doesn't affect its strength at all. If you have a need or desire to do a pull-out test and extraction test to check that resistance strength, then that's possible to do as well. Finally, as with all anchors and more generally all devices used at height, it's not recommended to rely on a single anchor point. So behind me here you can see we have 2 COEUR Pulse anchors together. So as much as possible we're respecting the principle of redundancy. We've always got 2 anchor points used in a complementary manner.